Okay, welcome back to another episode of Prepare to Shift for Leaders podcast series. I am your host, Dr. Paula Maddox, and as an author and global executive leadership coach with 20 years of experience across a wide range of industries in the United States and 58 other countries, I've had the privilege of engaging with diverse leaders at all levels. So, in this podcast series, we will explore leadership topics drawn from real world observations, insightful conversations, and deep coaching discussions. From the C suite to thriving entrepreneurs and new hires, this show offers valuable insights and practical advice no matter where you are in your leadership journey. So I'm thrilled that you are tuning in again. So don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share this podcast with friends and colleagues. And this series will dive into a wide range of leadership topics that resonate with managers and leaders and entrepreneurs worldwide. So today we're shifting from the first time from a solo podcast format to one that includes guest leaders. So let me introduce to you today my esteemed entrepreneurs and guests. So joining me today are two visionary creators and leaders, and they are Kaylin Phillips and Christopher Bell, the co-founders of GoWandr, a soulful new travel app that's actually rewriting the rules of how we explore the world. So, Kaylin is a multilingual UX designer, researcher, and marketer with a deep passion for human centered design and cross cultural communication. He is fluent in English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese with over a decade of experience navigating multicultural environments. With over 4 years of experience in the UX field and a strong foundation in multimedia and marketing management, Kalen brings a unique and empathetic perspective to every project he touches. Kalen's career has bridged the creative and the analytical, spanning user experience, brand strategy, and digital design. So, as a partner of the Inspire agency, Kalen works alongside startups and entrepreneurs, helping them build meaningful digital products and establish powerful online presences through custom Squarespace, web design, and in depth UX research and development. The other half of this team is Christopher, who is a seasoned UX designer and researcher with a huge passion for solving real world problems through thoughtful, user centered design. With a proven track record at industry leaders such as Centene Corporation and ADP, Christopher also brings an unique blend of UX research and inter, edit. Christopher also brings a unique blend of UX research and interaction design to every project, crafting seamless, intuitive experiences that delight users and drive impact. So, as we can clearly see, these co founders form a dynamic duo. And together they created GoWandr, which isn't just about booking flights, it's about rediscovering wonder, weaving personal stories into every journey, and making travel feel human again. So, from startup grit to poetic UX, we'll dive into the heart behind the GoWandr app and the features that set it apart, and the emotional journey of building something truly meaningful by these two innovative leaders and entrepreneurs. So, welcome to the Prepare to Shift for Leaders podcast show, gentlemen.
Thank you. I
Thank you so
appreciate it. Love the
much. It's
intro.
a pleasure.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so excited to have you. And I can sincerely tell you that I was thrilled to welcome you both as my guest on this show because I've witnessed and admired your character and your strategy and your skills as leaders and entrepreneurs for years. And I was also excited to hear about this new travel app and the amazing things it can do. And needless to say, it would have been so beneficial for me if I'd had developed it, if it had been developed decades ago during my career, but it is here now.
hmm
So, my listeners and I are excited to learn more about each of you as leaders and how this world changing app was created. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you, Kaylin.
Let's
What
go.
was the inspiration behind the creation of Go Wander? And was there a moment or an experience that sparked this idea?
Well, I absolutely love travel. So, my perspective of the world has been changed through travel. And me and Chris, a couple years ago, I was very glad I was able to go to England with him. And our experience from booking flight, getting everything ready, going through that trip, kind of sparked this interest in the cultural exchange and knowing that there's a lot that could be that's left to be desired when it comes to the traveling experience. And so from there, we explored. Well, I'm a language enthusiast,
Mhm.
as was said, and we wanted to explore something where we had cultural exchange, and traveling is just a big part of that. So I would say that trip to England really did put a spark into us to want to develop something to ease not only traveling for us, but also for other users, people out there across the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So, at the inception of GoWandr, was it just the interest in developing a travel app, or was the intention to do something else?
Funny enough, GoWandr, well, before we had another name. I'm not even sure if I'm able to say that name. I don't want us to be sued, but but we had another idea, which was a cultural exchange app with a language learning center, and traveling was just kind of something that would be a side product. But when we went, we workshopped the first idea for the app. A lot more people were interested in the traveling aspect because a lot of different apps have the language learning aspect kind of locked down, the cultural exchange kind of locked down. So we wanted to take that idea and shift it to see how can we make traveling a lot more efficient and more accessible to everybody, to the common people like us.
Yeah, and I will say, like when we first started this app, we were pitching it. We were going to these startup events because we usually go every month anyway around the city. And so as we pitched it, we have an opportunity to speak with people there and get that feedback. And so as we got the feedback, and like to Kayla's point, they were more interested in the travel aspect at the time. Was just a side note compared to the language learning. We
Mm.
just learned how to pivot over, and how it led into Go Wonder.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So, let's zoom out for a moment. And can both of you share a bit about your background and what you are currently doing? So, let's start with you, Chris.
Yeah, so for about 15 years, I was a professional photographer, specializing in fashion creative photo shoots. I was the editor in chief of Aspire magazine for about 5 years. It was a print and digital art magazine. I directed, produced documentaries, did a variety of podcasts, and then I pivoted into UX design. I working with startups and small businesses, and now working at corporate, and also working with Kaylin with GoWonder. And that's just the beginning of our endeavors in developing apps.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. What about you, Kaylin?
Well, I've worked with Chris for what about a decade now, and this is one of many hats that I wear. So I've worked with him in multimedia. We produced various documentaries and stuff like that together. And I also have a background in marketing. I worked as a marketer for the restaurant back in the days, and I also had a chance to get into UX, get into do insurance as well. There's a lot of different things that I do, as well as language learning. That's more of a hobby, a passion of mine. And I'm trying to think what else. There's just a lot of different hats, a lot of different hats, but they've all come together and through working with startups and seeing how other people have pursued their dreams and helping them put it together, it channeled into what we're doing now with Go Wander.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So I've been tracking and not stalking both of you, but I've seen how you work with startups before. So how did those experiences influence your strategy and approach as leaders when building Go Wander?
Mm. Yeah, I say one of the biggest lessons that I learned from working with startups is the importance of knowing when and how to pivot. A lot of great ideas stall when the team clings too tightly to the original concept. And like you said before, we pivoted. We leaned to the feedback, and a lot of people don't do that very often. And so over time, I come to see every project as a living thing. It's what you start off with is rarely what you end up with in the end. So you got to treat it like something organic. Like You got to give it sunlight, you got to give it water, space to breathe, and then it begins to evolve in ways you couldn't have predicted. So with GoWandr, that mindset was essential. We didn't force it into a rigid mold at all. Instead, we listened, we adapted, and let the product guide us. Our strategy wasn't just about execution; it was about staying open to where the idea was taking us.
And I like the idea of the organic aspect of it because we do have to not only let it breathe, and this is a mistake we've seen within the startup space, is people have their idea, it's their baby. It's almost like it becomes a statue in a way where they just take the idea and they just put it on the ledge. But we have to see how does this idea interact with people and how do people take to it? What can be changed? What can be adjusted? And what do people really need? Because we're not just making the app for us. We're making the app for everybody, a wide range of users.
I think that is so beautifully said. And what I'm picking up is is something that a lot of leaders omit or just are not conscious that they need to grasp and embrace. And that's the growth mindset, being able to pivot and transform and just transition whenever things happen. And as you're observing the entire process and not getting, like you said, locked into that final outcome. I think that is really great to point out. So, Kaylin, there are tons of travel apps currently available to the public. So please share with us what makes GoWandr truly stand out from the pack.
Really, it's the organizational aspect. I can't think of many travel labs where I'm able to do everything in one place. We have the standard. We have the booking for your hotel, the flights, your car rental. We have that. But we also have the organizational aspect where you're able to plan a trip more efficiently with others. For example, if um if me and Chris are planning a trip to well, Nigeria, which we are, there are certain things that he'll have in his Amazon gift card or Amazon cart that I'm like, oh, well, I need that as well. But with Echo Journal, which is a place where you're able to share links from different social medias or websites, you're able to put it all in one place. So if he has a certain kind of organizer or something that I would want to get, we're able to put it all in one place. And for people that use social media, use Twitter, use Instagram or YouTube to get ideas for what they want to do, they're able to take these ideas, share them, and organize them in one place where everything's searchable and very easily accessible. It's the organizational aspect that really makes GoWandr different, the end-to-end experience.
That really sounds exciting because I think that is totally needed. We get tired of just navigating from one app to another, trying to pull different information from different locations.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, what can users expect when they go into GoWandr for the first time?
Well, when they go in first time, of course, there's a standard, the booking. You're able to get your flights, get your hotel, get your car rental. But once you get deeper into the app, we also have that dynamic dashboard, for instance, where you're able to have on the day of your travel, you have the different information that you need to be more organized. You don't have to jump from all these different apps. You're able to see where your flight is, know your hotel information, see the weather, currency exchange, all these different things. And you also have the Echo Journal, where you're able to, of course, organize it, pull you from your itinerary, and have everything in one place. So that's what they could expect organization and also a certain aesthetic as well. It has a very kind of nostalgic feel that I feel like we don't get a lot nowadays. That nostalgic feel good kind of feel in a lot of different applications. So I feel like that's what they'll be able to experience once they go into the app.
That sounds exciting. So, Chris, what really jazzed me up was the look and the feel of Go Wonder, which is strikingly different. And it has this warm, soulful, almost poetic feel to it. So, what inspired the visual and emotion of the app design?
We know everything that we do, we design with intention. And from the start, I knew I didn't want GoWandr to feel like just any other booking app. So I wanted to feel whimsical, like stepping into a story, something fun, something a little bit magical when you're booking when you planning your trip. And so one of my biggest inspirations was vintage travel posters. The colors, the typography, the sense of adventure. They had this epic romantic energy that made you want to pack and bag and go, you know. So I want to GoWandr to carry that same feeling, you know, compared to our other competitors you may see out there. And I just feel like a lot of apps out there feel kind of sterile, you know. I want ours to
Mm,
feel alive, something that sparks curiosity and make you feel like you're already halfway into the journey, and just by opening it. So that's the intention I was going with the design with it.
I think that's what really drew me in as well. So, outside of planning a trip, what do you hope people will walk away with after using GoWandr?
Honestly, I hope people walk away with more than just a trip. I want them to feel like they reconnected in a sense with themselves, with their curiosity, with the stories they travel, you know, that makes travel meaningful. You know, Go Wonder isn't about logistics; it's just about intention, and it's about remembering that every journey has emotional weight to it. Remember it, even if it's just a weekend getaway. I want people to feel seen, inspired. I want them to feel a little bit transformed from it. And if someone finished planning a trip and feel more grounded, more excited, or more open to wonder, that's the real win for me.
Mm, I have to agree with you. I wish it was available when I was doing a lot of travel myself. So, I'm hearing you mention the emotional aspect and the emotional experience that you want your users to experience. So, what was the emotional experience like developing this app? And let's start with you, Kaylin.
Well, developing it, it was it was honestly it felt like a catharsis in a way because you're seeing this idea that we were just throwing around in conversations become something real, and this is something that I mean I'm the co-founder and I'm excited to use it. Like Chris said with the whole building memories, and I kind of look at it like scrapbooking. You know,
Mm,
oftentimes nowadays, I feel like in a digital age, so much is just being lost. But with the way the app is laid out and everything, you get this feeling of these memories have lasting staying power, like something that could be passed down to your kids. Like where we want people to have moments again, rebuild these moments, and seeing the process and seeing how the screens are going to look and all the different background information as to how the app is going to work and be built. It's just it feels really surreal to be honest. Like you're like, wow, this is here. This is really like really just came up with an idea and now it's you're able to interact with it and now millions of people are going to be able to interact with it and have their lives changed and improved from it.
beautiful. It sounds so engaging too. So,
Yes.
Chris, I have a question for you. Now, experts state that nearly 90% of startups fail. So, what was your leadership approach to ensure that GoWandr was part of the successful 10%?
And when Kelly and I started Go Wonder, I told him straight up, like, the odds may be stacked against us, but we're not the typical founders. You know, we worked inside failed startups, so we already know the pitfalls already. We've seen what happens when great ideas are not backed by execution, resilience or emotional clarity. Like, that's not us.
Mhm.
And I told him like, yo, we had to lean into our strengths, and our strength is the storytelling, our resourcefulness, and a track record of finishing what we start. Like say, Kelly and I know each other for about a decade. We've done a variety of projects compared to so many founders that we meet all the time, especially like these different pitching events. This is their first project, you know, and they're not known to finish a project. So I see why 90% of them fail. Where Kelly and I, like, we know how to take an idea and bring it to life now. You know, that's easy for us. And so for years, you know, we felt like we sat on the sidelines when it comes to the UX and developing an app. We studied, we refined it, we building our craft. And so when Go Wonder came to life, it wasn't leap of faith for us no more. It was just go mode. And it's funny, like we have a developer named Jameson, shout out to him. He worked with countless startups too. And I mean, he told us that he never seen a team work so fast and fluid,
Wow.
but that is the result of a decade of trust and collaboration between Kaylin and me. Like we kind of know each other, we know how to make things go. And yes, it was challenging, but in many ways, it felt like light work too at the same time. Because we're not just building an app; we were just activating everything that we prepared for.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So what I'm hearing is that first of all, there's the strong foundation of trust between the leaders working together. The other
Yeah,
thing is making sure, even through the failures, there are just precious gems of learning opportunities embedded in that.
yeah. Think about it too. Like a lot of founders, when they build a team, they build a team of people they barely know, the people they just met. We see it all the time. When they pitching like, "Hey, I need a CTO." They're hoping that a complete stranger that they vibe with and build a product with. And it's like a relationship. Like you building with something with someone you don't even know. You don't know how hungry they are, or they have the same intentions as you. There's so much at play there, which Keelan and I, we averted that whole hurdle of that, so we didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's just a different type of vibe, and yeah, I didn't have any doubts. I knew once we decided that this is the direction we were going to go, I knew it was going to get done.
And I do
Yes.
think that the trust aspect is a huge part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and also just being able to people being able to take a project and fully realize it and stick with it, understand that it's brick by brick, and for like shout out to Jameson when he said how fast we work, it really was surprising because we're so used to always flowing, always thinking ahead and seeing what it's problem solving. It's like building a
Mm-hmm.
house. You come across a problem, you just find a solution for it and go to the next problem.
Phenomenal. Yes, I think there are just so many lessons and so much great information that other entrepreneurs and leaders can learn from this conversation. So, as entrepreneurs, I think we all can agree creating something from scratch is always an interesting journey. So, what's your favorite memory just from building GoWandr together?
I start off with that.
Okay, thank you.
I'd say despite all the work, it was fun. It was just I just love creating, so it doesn't matter the medium, because like I come from a background in multimedia, so from photo shoots to doing short films to doing documentaries to UX design, helping other businesses, and to this, I just love creating and seeing the idea come to life. Um, to me, there's something magical about turning a simple idea or conversation to something real, and that process to me never gets old because, like I said, Kayla and I, we'd be having conversations about stuff all the time. Like we could be eating some Korean fried chicken somewhere, chopping it up, and the idea might come to us, and like, yo, man, and we just go back to the lab and we just start cooking.
Hmm.
And then watching it unfold and seeing the spark become a product that people can touch, feel, and connect with. That's a high for me. And it's why I do what I do. I think no Go Wonder is no different. Every step reminded me why I love creating from scratch or building from scratch. I like the whole process.
For me, I think I have one particular memory just etched in my head. It's
Mhm.
when I think it was the second time that I went up the pitch. The pitch it wasn't the best pitch. I came down, I was like, oh man. I was talking to us. I was like, next time I'm gonna study the lines a bit more and get it the pitch. Yeah. They were like, we're just gonna see with it. But I remember it really surprised me how much the idea and the aesthetic of the app really just pulled people in. And it was a very fruitful night. People were coming this way and that way, coming saying, like I like the pitch and I like the idea and wanted to know more and wanted to really be a part of the project.
Mm.
That moment really is just etched in my head when it comes to go wander reels.
And mind you, that was just a pitch. We had nothing to show. Like we
Yeah.
purposely didn't design anything. You know what I mean? Like we
Mhm.
a lot of startups skip the process. They have a great idea and they want to go straight to development. They never want to validate or anything. And and what we did, we had an idea. We knew it was a great idea. At least we thought it was, but we knew we still had to validate it. So we just went strictly with a pitch. We didn't design anything or sketch out anything or anything. Just pitched the ideal itself, and we ended up getting a room full of people following us to our breakout room to learn more. And I think, and that, like I said, that's when we knew we was on to something. So if we get this type of attention without anybody seeing anything, I'm like, oh yeah, we got this now.
That is so wonderful to hear. And one thing I can say about the two of you, you have always had this strong foundation of trust, and you have never been afraid to explore and to experiment and to just see where it goes. You didn't, even if you had, goals at the beginning, you were never afraid to pivot, to change it up, to explore and experiment with other different things to see just how far and how well you can take it. And I have so admired both of you for wanting to do that. And I've seen Chris, my son, do this all of his life. And I've seen you, Kaylin, even when you were working with my son for a number of years, I've seen you pick up that and you already had a lot of that embedded in you. And so when you see all the two of you come together, and you use these strengths to really complement one another, and it's like everything that you really put your minds to doing, it just turns out to be quite successful one way or the other, or even if it's a building stone to the next thing. So I really admire you all as leaders and entrepreneurs for doing what you do, and I'm just so delighted to have you here.
Yeah.
So before closing, please share with us where we can download GoWandr and so that we can start exploring.
So the app is available now. You go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. So it's available for both Apple and Android. And for the first month, it'll probably be completely free, so you have access to everything. And so after that first month, there will be like a small premium, but definitely go ahead and download and just explore the app. You let the open on purpose. Like even when you download the
Mhm.
app, we don't even take you to a hard login page. We want you to go in and really play around with it. You don't even have to log in until you start getting to the Echo Journal because that's a personal journal. You don't want to document that part, but just as far as booking a flight or checking out our deals that we have with car rentals and hotels, a login not even required for that. It's like we let the opening free for you to explore that on purpose, and I hope people take advantage of that.
Great, great. And I look forward to downloading it myself. So, thank you again, Kaylin and Chris, for being my guest leaders today. And I thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives to create the Go Wonder travel app. And I hope this podcast episode and interview has inspired more leaders to launch and activate their dreams and visions into something new, improved, and innovative. So, that's a wrap today for our episode and interview with Kaylin Phillips and Christopher Bell, co-founders of GoWandr Travel App. GoWandr isn't just an app; it's an invitation to wander with intention. Whether you're planning your next adventure or just dreaming of one, Kaylin and Chris have built something that speaks to the soul of travel. And you can download GoWandr now and start exploring in a whole new way. And if you love this conversation, share it with someone who needs a little inspiration to go beyond the itinerary. So, thank you again for sharing your valuable time with me and my guest today. And if this leadership podcast has been helpful to you, please support others in their leadership development as well by smashing the like, follow, subscribe, or share buttons. And feel free to leave a gracious comment. And I look forward to joining you next month as I unpack another leadership topic. But until then, keep investing in yourself and leading well.